Donald Trump was asked about confusion coming out of his administration about these tariffs, and he was asked, are some of your officials saying they're permanent? You're saying there's going to be negotiations. What's going on? He goes, well, they can be both. They can be permanent, but you can negotiate, but you also have to have open borders. Now, what was he talking about? Who knows? Um, but is he going back on his stance on immigration? I doubt it. Probably was referring to trade and saying, well, we need to have stuff coming back and forth, you know, without the input of tariffs. But Donald Trump's the one who put the tariffs on. So I don't know if he knows what he's talking about. It's very confusing listening to what he is saying and trying to figure out what he meant. He could mean open borders for immigration because remember, he was going to put tariffs on if he didn't get his way coming from Canada and Mexico. And then when they both said, well, we'll put more uh, troops on the border, we'll do more security checks, the first time he backed off. So maybe he's talking about immigration, but he could be talking about trade too. We'll see how he counterdicts this message later. We'll see how his supporters try to spin what he's talking about because, you know, we always hear from MAGA supporters about how they love Donald Trump because he says what he means, but then they always have to explain to us what he meant because he says things like this that don't actually explain anything. So are the tariffs permanent? Are they going to negotiate? I don't know. Again, don't know if he knows. He may be willing to take them back off depending on what kind of deals they offer. And he'd always said he was willing to negotiate. And his supporters, as it's hurting the economy, say it's a negotiating tactic. So, is it? I don't know. Like I said, I don't think he knows. I think it's a sign that he's facing serious mental decline. He says the first thing that comes to his mind, and then he hopes he can spin it later to make it sound intelligent. Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. We've established this, especially with these tariffs that are actively hurting the country. And then he says things like I've talked about in other videos, where he says, "Don't panic, don't be stupid. They're going to make us great," even though the stock market is steadily tanking, and investors are not sure that they are actively going to help. But we'll see how they try to spin it, how he tries to correct this later. But I wish I had a better answer as far as what he meant here, but he never gives us anything. He says these things, he talks in circles, and then we have to figure it out. That way he can spin it later so it always sounds like he was right and he was a winner. Donald Trump hates looking like a loser, but he's looking like a loser more and more every single day.